So, I came up with this idea about 5 minutes ago while I was in the shower, and I had to come straight down to start recording this because I really want to make a video out of it. So I was thinking, I get a lot of DMs asking, how do I improve my flexibility? How do I get those high kicks? All this kind of stuff. And my answer is the same every single time. Consistent stretching. And some people message back and they're like, oh, I've tried all this stuff and I've tried consistent stretching for so long and it didn't work. But in reality, the only way your muscles are going to become more flexible is if you're constantly pushing them past their usual range of motion. And this is exactly what gave me this idea for the video. I'm going to see if I can achieve a noticeable difference in my flexibility and kicks in only 2 weeks. Just to see what genuine consistency can achieve. To make this more interesting, I'm actually going to be using stretches and exercises from my own flexibility program. Now you can purchase my program through the first link in my description, but feel free to watch this video first just so you can see whether it actually works. But bear in mind that I'm only going to be doing these stretches for 2 weeks and my flexibility program is a 12-week program. But that does mean that if you like the results you see after 2 weeks, then imagine what you could achieve after the full 12. Now this program is only £9.99, so that's about $11 I think. And again, just watch the video first, and then if you're interested, go ahead and click that link. Now, my kicks and flexibility are decent, they're okay, but I would always like to improve. And I do stretch every single day, but nowadays I stretch more for warm-ups before I do a session or before I film some content. But for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna be completely switching it up and doing an intense stretching session every single day to see what we can achieve. So basically, to improve your kicks and flexibility, you need 2 things: stretching and strengthening. That is it. And these 2 things are what I'm going to be focusing on for the next 2 weeks. And all these stretches and exercises can be found inside my program. So first things first, to kick this off, we're going to do a little assessment just to see where my flexibility level is at now and also what my kicking is like. So I'm going to get into some stretching positions and we're going to get our starting point for this 2-week journey. And hopefully it will be improved by the end. Here we go. The first stretch I'm assessing is the splits. This is my starting point. The next one is frog splits, and here's my starting point on this one. I wanted to add a hamstring stretch in there too, so here it is. And lastly, I wanted to test my leg control since this is another component that I'm going to be working on. So I decided to see how long I could hold a head height side kick. I was a bit disappointed in myself with this one, to be honest. 28 seconds. I'm determined to try and get this to a minute by the end of the challenge. So every day I followed a stretching routine that would hopefully enable me to unlock my hips and improve my kicks. And if I'm honest, some days were tougher than others, as you can see here. But nevertheless, I powered through. Stretching for flexibility improvement isn't supposed to be comfortable. You're meant to push your joints past their usual range of motion so that they're forced to adapt and loosen. But it also shouldn't be agonisingly painful, so please don't split yourself in half trying to stretch. During this period of stretching, I was worried that 2 weeks wasn't enough time to improve my flexibility noticeably, and I was starting to think that this video could just be a flop. But I said I'd complete it, so I continued. It is day 6, I believe, and it is also Christmas Eve. I would like a new pair of legs for Christmas because mine are being stretched every day, and they're in just a little bit of pain, a little bit. But it's all going to be worth it, hopefully, so let's continue. We're about halfway tomorrow. Christmas Day is halfway through the challenge, so let's carry on. Second half of the challenge now, and I was getting into a good rhythm and my body was getting used to the constant stretching. I definitely felt more confident in this half than in the first. We had a change of scenery for a few days but still kept up with the routines. Last few days now, and I really tried to push the stretching even harder just to see how much more I could squeeze out of my joints. Now we approach the end of a short but uncomfortable 2 weeks, and I'm excited to see the results, and I hope you are too. Tomorrow's the last day. We've nearly done it. Nearly completed this challenge. Tomorrow you get to see the results of this challenge. I hope there'll be at least a little bit of a noticeable difference in my flexibility, but we'll see. I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see tomorrow. And that is the 14 days done. That is it. We've done the challenge. To be honest, once you get into a rhythm, it's really not that difficult to get it done. So that is my piece of advice to you. Get yourself into a rhythm, because when you get up and do it every day, you know, without fail, your body just gets used to it and you start to dread it a bit less. So definitely just get yourself into a rhythm of stretching or doing whatever you need to do, and it will get easier to complete. Now for the part that I am a little bit nervous about. We are now going to do the final assessment to see if there has been any improvement in this 2-week period. I am hoping, for my sake as well as your sake, because if there's no improvement then it'll be a boring video, but I'm hoping there's going to be some improvements. Please drop this video a like while you're waiting. Okay, here goes nothing. Also, before we do it, one thing I forgot to mention is that I'm wearing the same trousers that I was wearing in the initial assessments, just to make it fair and to make sure any improvements that can be noticed are not to do with my clothing. I wanna make this video as honest as possible. But yeah, let's go. Final assessment, here we go. Starting off with the splits once again, and there it is. Now we're going to take a look at the side-by-side images of my starting position and my finishing position. And as you can see, I've actually gotten quite a bit lower in the after shot. I'm quite proud of this one because I didn't think it would improve that much. Next, onto the frog splits. Down I go into the position, and here is the finished product. Now again, looking at the before and after, this one's not as big of a difference, although you can see I'm still going a little bit lower in the second one, so I'll take it. And lastly for the stretches, the hamstring stretch. And there is the finished stretch. Side by side, here we can see that in this first one I couldn't quite get my palms to the floor, whereas in the second I managed to, which is actually something I could never do, so I'm quite happy with this one too. And lastly, the infamous Sidekick Hold. I was nervous for this one, as you can tell. Previously I only scored 28 seconds and I was not happy about that, so let's see if I can make an improvement here. One minute. Like we said we would. That side kick was looking a bit ropey by the end, but I'll watch the replay back and I'll see if I can count that side kick towards the end, because I know it was a bit dodgy. The angle of the side kick was just slowly going down, so I don't know. But I'm happy that I finished it and managed to see an improvement. Let's go. And there we have it, the challenge complete. I'm quite happy with the progress I made since it was only done in 2 weeks. And again, you can find all of the stretches and exercises in my program, so go check that out, link in the description. It will be the first link in the description. And I want every single one of you that buys my program to send me a picture of your flexibility before and then after the program, because I'll share those on my story, because I think that's really cool to see people's progress. So when you do get hold of the program, take progress pictures, because that is something I wish I'd done before I started stretching, because you get a real sense of achievement from seeing where you came from and what you've achieved. So yeah, everyone go check the program out. Everyone please subscribe, like the video, comment, and also if you're still watching, drop a comment telling me your favourite kick, because when I look through the comments, I will see the people that are telling me their favourite kick and I know they watched it all the way to the end. So yeah, go do that, and thank you for watching. See you in the next one.